I saw Jason and Daniela's work and didn't really like either of their work. So I did what Ashanti did and what Riley did and what everyone else mostly did, and I worked it out on my own paper. And then I realized my solution matched the ordered pair that Jason gave. Now, would I like to see words like solution in your written response? Would I like to see so many other things? Would I like to see the word elimination written in your response? You're entering the word variable, like when I saw for the variable R, blah, blah, blah. So we're trying to really step up our game and have our answers stand out among everyone else's. What vocab words did you use in your response? Now, saying all that, I think it's smart to show your own work and show how you reach the solution using elimination. But that's not what we were asked to do. We were asked to explain who is correct and to explain our reasoning. So we're really, good grade, really were asked to figure out who had done it correctly, and if they messed up, where did they mess up? So Jason, he multiplied everyone in that second equation. These were his two. He multiplied everyone in the second equation by 2. So that's how you got 2R, 18T, and 14. You and I wouldn't have multiplied by 2. In fact, most people I've looked at, they multiplied by -2. You and I would have had on this line -2 plus 18T equals positive 14. But really, that's what he's doing too. When he puts this minus, if you distribute the minus, it would be -2 plus 18T plus 14. So he really does what we do, he just wrote it weird. He wrote it differently than you and I would have. Does that make him wrong? No. As you know, he reached the correct solution. He just thought a little differently. And we're really trying to go for the kill though, and show everyone we really know what we're doing. And this is what I was joking with Maggie. This is what I have to do. Even though Danielle is wrong, we have to help her. We have to help her figure out where she went wrong and what she could do better. So, Daniela's mistake is where?
When she found what R equals.
Right here. What should this line read?
It should be 2R plus 7T equals 11 and -2R plus 18. Wait.
You're going ahead and mine, but looking at her work, if she had just added down the way she had it, I didn't phrase my question well. If she just added down the way she had it, what would she have gotten on this third line? Hannah, you were going to say it. That's all.
Well, I know that she made that in order school. But if she would yeah, it's 11 lines playing in school.
Well, yeah, but she did that same negative thing he did. I don't know.
Yeah, it will be positive.
You think it would be positive 18, because 11 minus -7 would be positive 18. And then 2R minus R would be positive R. But I thought 7 minus 9T would be positive 16T. Even if we ignore that, how did the T's cancel out? I guess that's what I would put on my paper.
Yeah, that's
what I would focus on. How did she cancel out the T's? How did they leave? And if you were really trying to be smart and you wrote something about elimination, maybe you should explain that in elimination, we need, in our two equations, for this opposite sign but the same number coefficient. She has opposite sign, but they're not both 7s, they're not both 9s. Something like that in your written response, explaining how Daniela was wrong, that would impress me more than some of the others that I've seen. What really impressed me specifically about Ashanti and Jalen, they had very similar ones, even though they were not sitting at the same table. Not only did Ashanti work it out himself and say, my answer and Jason's answer match, therefore Jason's correct, he also checked Jason's answer. He took the ordered pair and plugged it back in. And I saw Jackie trying to do something similar, and I didn't look through and find the mistake in her work. She was doing something similar, and she had plugged in Daniela's. That's what I do. That's how I decided I didn't make a key for the last test. I looked at Will's paper. I plugged in all of his answers into all the equations. They checked out every single time. He must have them all right. Why not just plug in the answer and see if they're right or not? A lot easier. Okay, I'm off my rant on that. Get out your exponent book, please. We need to go over last night's homework answers because, my goodness, we got some different ones. You also need out your piece of paper we had with it. I know Trey wrote really big, his homework really big. If you want to write tonight, we're going to put a couple more problems. If you want to write it on a separate sheet of paper like I know Wendy and Hannah have been doing, that's fine. And Maggie, that's fine. I don't care. Remind me, yesterday we were talking about, my book says exponent book. What is the M called in my problem on the screen? The base, and then the 5 is called the, and then what's another vocab term for that? Power. Power. So it can be called an exponent or a power. If we're multiplying like bases, meaning they have to be the same variable or the same number, what do we do with the exponents? We add them. So let's look through at your homework problems and make sure you added on the top page. So on your first homework problem from last night, you had x to the third, x to the fifth. When we add 3 plus 5, we get 8. Y to the 2, y to the 6. When you add 2 plus 6, you again get 8. So our answer is x to the 8th, y to the 8th. Are there any questions about this one? It looked like everyone had that one correct. I did see an issue on the next one on a couple people's books. We add the a's, the exponents 3 plus 5 is 8. We add the b exponents, 4 plus 2 is 6. And then the issue happened when we added the c's. What should you get when you add the c exponents? 7. If you got 6, you forgot there is an understood 1 right here. Which is why today we're going to write some secrets on our black flap to make sure we can't possibly make a mistake. Okay. So before we go over the division answers, we're going to put secrets on our black. Does anyone need this up any longer? Okay. On the very back flap, I'm going to put the word secrets. It's really not secrets. It's just math facts I need to make sure we've got down. The first secret that I'm going to write down is what we just used in that problem. C to the 1, x to the 1, z to the 1. That's the same thing as just z, or just x, or just z. Heck, it works with numbers too. There is an understood 1. We tend to not write it. It reminds me of a lot of the equations we've been working with. If we had x plus 3y equals 6, you would tell me there's an understood 1 in front of that x. But we don't write it. We just know it's there. That's the same way with the exponent 1. We just know it's there. Same way that's an understood 1. This has an understood 1. We don't write it, we just know it's there. Okay, I told you my first secret. And while I'm confessing, I might as well tell you my second secret as well. It's one that everyone knows, but just to make sure. Anything, 1, if 1 is your base, and it's raised to any power, you always get 1. Positive, negative, it doesn't matter. If your base is 1, the answer is going to be 1. I have a third secret. I don't know if you're ready for it yet. So let's go check our division flap, and then I'll tell you my third secret. Okay, when we are dividing powers, and we have the same base, what do we do with the exponents? We subtract. Okay, but we ran into an issue yesterday, and this is what I noticed on 1 or 2 in their homework, in their final answer. They're not going to get all their points in life if they keep doing it like this. You cannot leave it with negative. You've got to have an answer with non-negative exponents. What do we do if we have a negative exponent? Okay, what did I say we were doing to him?
Put 1 on top of, wait, you put it in the denominator.
Well, yeah. If he's in the numerator, you send him to the denominator. If he was in the denominator, you'd send him to the numerator. I had a joke. What was I doing to him?
Punishing.
I was punishing him. He's negative. He has to go somewhere he doesn't want to go. Just like when you get in trouble. You have to do something you didn't want to do or go somewhere you didn't want to go. Anyway, it's just like that. We're punishing him. When we send him to the bottom, he is no longer negative. If you give me your answer with a negative exponent, you're going to get points counted off. I know that sounds so silly that math people are worried about negative exponents. There's tons of other things we could be worried about. World peace. Many, many other things. But we freak out over negative exponents, so don't leave them negative. Okay, let's look at your 2 homework problems. And let's see, I'm going to show I write big like many of the others. So I'm going to write it on my own paper. So you had a to the 9th over a squared, and there was a b, q, b, c to the 7th. What did you get for a?
I have gotten
7.
A to the 7th. Thank you. And then for b, you got
B2.
Which we say
B squared.
b squared. Okay, and then for c, you got, tell me the wrong thing.
Over C.
Okay, so you got c to the negative 6, and Ashanti's already fixing it for us. You got c to the negative 6. You said, oh no, Miss Compton is not going to accept that. So most people wrote on their paper a to the 7th, b squared, and then they punished c to the negative 6, and they sent him to the denominator. That answer is not incorrect. It's not. But it was so nice when we started off in this problem with one giant fraction. Wouldn't it be nice if we ended with one giant fraction? So I would much rather see a to the 7th and b squared weren't in trouble, so they got to stay in the top. C to the 6th was in trouble, so he's on the bottom. I would much rather see one fraction like this. So if this is not what you had, I would correct it on my booklet now. And I know you think Ms. Compton is being so particular, but if an ACT question is going to ask about exponents, they're going to be pretty particular in their answers too. Okay, and then I'm dying of a heat stroke, so Jalen, you're going to have to turn it on low cool. Oh.
It feels so good in here.
That's so hot. Okay, and then our second problem was, and that helps a little. X squared over x to the negative 6, and it had a y to the 4th, a y to the negative 4, a z to the 7th, and a z cubed. I saw at least 3 people, ironically all from the same group, I wonder if they work together or what, who had the y's completely cancel out.
That was a mistake.
Why was that a mistake?
Because the y on the bottom turns into a positive 4, and it'll be 8.
Okay, so we talked about this yesterday. There are 2 ways you can solve this one. Ashanti likes the second way. I like negatives. I don't have a problem with them until the end. So I would have done 2 minus negative 6. And y to the 4th minus negative 4. I don't know why I put my parentheses like that, but I did. And everyone's cool with 7 minus 3 is 4. when you subtract the exponents, so when I do 2 minus a negative 6, you know two negatives make a positive. So it ends up being 2 plus 6, so I get x to the 8th. 4 minus a negative 4, it ends up being 4 plus 4, which is also 8. And then everyone had z to the 4th. Now that is the correct answer. But Ashanti has a different idea, and it's not a bad one. So that's how I would do it. I don't fix negatives till the end. I don't mind negative exponents. I'm telling you, the world does. Miss Compton personally, like, it can be negative until the end with me. I don't care. But some people would rather, and we talked about it yesterday, it might be okay if you wanted to fix the negatives to begin with. So x to the negative 6, let's punish him. Where should we send him? Where is he now? So he's in the bottom, and he's negative, and we're mad at him. So Crusen's right. Let's send him to the top. We're mad at him. He was negative. If we send him to the top, he's in trouble, and now he's positive. Okay, and then I'm leaving y to the 4th alone. I'm mad. I was mad at you. That's why you moved up. I was mad at you, so you're going to move up too. But I'm not mad at you, z to the 3rd. You can stay in the bottom. That's fine. I only moved up the two I was mad at, and I'm mad at them because they were negative. If you were to rewrite the problem like this, which is what Ashanti was suggesting, then you would get to use your multiplying rule, so where you add the exponents. So you would do 2 plus 6 and get 8, 4 plus 4 and get 8, and then you would still get to subtract with the z's. No one messed up with the z's. 7 minus 3 is 4. Either way, the way I did in green and the way I did in purple, I got the same answer. So do what makes your heart happy. Or Jackie wants the A in math class. She might do it both ways. Make sure she gets the same answer both times. Are there any questions about the homework from last night? Okay, then we're going to go and learn the third secret, which is my favorite secret because it involves my very favorite number. Does anyone remember what my favorite number is? I've read you a story about it.
0.
0. I love 0.
Wait, we never finished that story.
We didn't? We need to finish that story one day. It is a good one. Okay. Anything to the 0. 7 to the 0, 6 to the 0, x to the 0, m to the 0. Anything to the 0 power is what number?
0.
It's 1. Anything to the 0 power is always 1. Every single time. If you don't believe me, ask your calculator. It will say 1. Now, what's crazy, so we all know we talked about Miss Compton being a nerd, and I used to do a lot of math team. So math team and ACT, math team is where you take a giant test, which is kind of like an ACT test. So these standardized tests and math team questions love to put something complicated like the following. And if you want to write it down, you can. If not, it just makes me happy. 13x squared plus 4y squared minus 3z all over 2xyz cubed. And you're looking at that like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I'll raise to the 0 power. So what is the answer? Even though that entire thing looks like crazy gibberish, I don't care if you have cat raised to the 0 power, the answer is 1. Anything raised to the 0 power is 1. No matter how long and complicated, if they raise it to the 0, the answer is 1. I am that person. I will throw that in somewhere at some point.
Are there only 3 secrets?
I believe there is a 4th secret, but we're not going to get to him today. I know. I have so many secrets. I need to stop having so many secrets.
I need to stop having secrets.
I know. Let me tell you. Okay, are there any questions about our 3rd secret? Then let's go back to our actual rules and our properties. We had multiplying, good grade. We had dividing. Now we're going to talk about raising a power to a power. So I'm going to call it power to a power. power to a power. Our plan is to fill in this flap only. We're going to leave the final flap till tomorrow. All we have to do is this one flap, but we've got to do it well. When you raise a power, he's got a C on his shirt. When you raise a power to a power, what do you do with the exponents?
You multiply, right?
You multiply them. You do. So I'm going to do 4 times 5, which is 20. When it's a power to a power, you multiply. Okay, that sounds pretty easy. No serious questions with this. And then we flip over and I start putting examples that aren't as easy. So we're going to multiply the powers or multiply the exponents. Let's see, anyone else got a letter on their shirt? He's got an M. Okay. M to the Jorgen, favorite small number. No, rejected.
Can I get one?
4. And then I heard cubed. Okay. So what would my final answer be? Thank you. What's your number?
7.
Perfect. I'm about to use it.
Wait, what?
Okay, so we did m to the 4 raised to the 3rd. And when we raise a power to another exponent, we multiply the exponent. So we do 4 times 3 and we get 12. 4 times 3 and we get 12. Are there any questions about this? Okay, well then you know what's going to happen is that f to the 7 raised to the negative 2. F to the 7th power raised to the negative 2. I'm going to work 3 examples. This is my second. That was my first. This is my second. F to the 7th raised to the negative 2.
So would it be 1 over F14?
Whoa, yeah. So you multiply and you get f to the negative 14. But you know Miss Compton is going to be mad if you leave your answer like that. So you punish him and send him to the bottom and you get 1 over f to the 14. If you don't write the intermediate step, I'm not going to be mad. It just always helps in math class for the math teacher to know what you're thinking. Okay, and before we work our last problem, I was hoping one of you would come up with it. What do you think? I have one more to go. We already did the negatives. What else could be harder?
Can I do it?
A negative with a negative?
Oh, I could do 2 negatives and make a positive.
A negative with
Oh, I wish I had done that. Oh, man, I didn't even think to do that. Oh, I wish I had. I only have enough room for one more, or else I would do that one. No, we're going to complicate. What you and Zach want is what we're going to do on the bottom flap and complicate our labs tomorrow.
You could do a negative on the inside.
We could, and then, but then, we'll, yeah. So,
Oh, you could do a 0.
I could do 0 and make our lab a little more fun. Y'all aren't psychic. Why am I expecting you to be psychic? K. Okay, so K squared raised to the 3rd raised to the 5th. What would we do? What if we did it twice? What if we raised K squared to the 3rd and then we raised that to the 5th?
Multiply everything.
Multiply everything and you would get 30. But if you wanted to do it one step at a time, so it says K squared to the 3rd, and then all raised to the 5th. You could do K squared times 3, which is K to the 6th, and then raise that to the 5th and get K to the 30. Or you could just jump straight to K to the 30. I do not care. But if you raise a power to a power to a power, you still just multiply the exponents. Are there any questions on this today? Okay, well, I'm going to give you your 2 homework problems, but I swear by the time you have them written down, or I write them down, you will have answered them, which is fine. Easy points for you tomorrow then. A is C to the 4th raised to the 17th. B is d to the 5th raised to the negative 9. It says d to the 5th raised to the negative 9. That's not my best 9, that is for sure. And then last but not least, my favorite of the day. Don't ask me any other questions. Just go with what it says. I know you don't know what sign is. I do not really care.
Dang.
Are there any questions about